Warning, censorship. Warning, censorship. Warning, censorship.
I first saw a picture of this at Vancouver's International Airport. Giant signs with two lines, one for vaccinated people, one for unvaccinated people. I almost couldn't believe it, but I know that signage at Vancouver's airport, I've been there enough, and that looked really real. And I saw it actually from a reputable news source soon too. At first I couldn't believe it because this went up with no notice, no warning, no public discussion, obviously no debate in a legislature, no vote, no nothing like that. True story. I sent that image to one of our civil liberties lawyers, I won't say who, and I said, we should challenge this, said that. And they wrote back and said, and I'm quoting here, I pasted this from the email they said, add to your team of lawyers and get one in whatever country this is. Also, can you see the future in this photo? I think I can, and it's scary. That's what my lawyer wrote back to me. I think my lawyer thought that picture was from a foreign country because they didn't recognize that was the Vancouver airport. Many airport signs in Vancouver are in Chinese as well as English. My lawyer thought this was someplace in China, maybe. In other words, they thought, no way that's Canadian. Boy, I hope it doesn't happen here. Isn't that funny? Yeah, it did happen here. It was in Vancouver first, but then it popped up in Montreal's airport, and then at Toronto Pearson Airport, the largest airport in the country, just all at once. We sent our reporter, Drea Humphrey, to the Vancouver airport to check it out. Now, she couldn't get into the part of the airport where those lines are, because if I understand correctly, they're for international arrivals, and she was just coming in from the street in Vancouver. But the airport spokesman did confirm to her it is real, and it was ordered up by Trudeau's government. Take a look.
I did hear back from one of the media representatives of the airport. Her name is Megan. The first question I wanted to know was, is in fact this true? Are people being segregated based on their vaccination status before they leave the airport? She stated that under direction of the Government of Canada, passengers entering Canada from the US or another international destination are being split into vaccinated and non-partially vaccinated queues prior to reaching Canada customs. These measures are in place per government policy to help streamline the border clearance process, as there are different entry requirements of vaccinated and non-partially vaccinated travelers.
Now, just as soon as they went up, they started coming down. Before I could mobilize our civil rights lawyers to take a run at them, they each used excuses, the airports, that I simply don't believe. That it was too inefficient. Yeah, do you believe that's the reason? Do you believe that airports and the federal government are against doing things inefficiently? Have you ever been to an airport? 9/11 destroyed any idea of efficient, logical air travel. I have never heard of a terrorist ever being caught in Canada or the United States by the security theater at airports that we've had for more than 20 years, but I know a lot of people that have been groped and billions of hours of time have been wasted along with billions of dollars. I think inefficiency is actually the point. So they need to hire more people, an entire government bureaucracy. Now add on top of that a layer of public health theater. Oh, which theater, all right? What, did you think it was science? Let me show you a clip. It's about 2 minutes long, but it's pure gold, of the chief scientist on this stuff, showing you just how sciencey it all is.
People should not be walking around with masks. Let me just state for the record that masks are not theater. Wearing a mask might make people feel a little bit better. And masks are protective, but it's not providing the perfect protection that people think that it is.
Mark, there has not been any indication that putting a mask on and wearing a mask for a considerable period of time has any deleterious effects.
There are unintended consequences. People keep fiddling with the mask and they keep touching their face.
And can you get some schmutz sort of staying inside there?
Of course.
You do not need to wear a mask indoors if, in fact, you've been vaccinated. Good that you're vaccinated, but in a situation where you have people indoors, particularly crowded, you should wear a mask.
So even if you are vaccinated, you should wear a mask. That if, in fact, you are vaccinated, fully vaccinated, you are protected, and you do not need to wear a mask outdoors or indoors. When the children go out into the community, You want them to continue to wear masks.
You know, if you look at children outside, particularly when they're with the family, walking down the street, playing a game or what have you, don't have to wear a mask.
The pediatric, the Academy of Pediatric actually makes that recommendation that children should be wearing masks from 2 years old onward.
And you're asking now, if your child is a member of your household, can you walk outdoors with your child without a mask? According to that chart, the answer is yes.
But the child can't, not to beat it to death.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Because now the CDC says, I mean, I think I've got this right. 1 mask is better than 0 masks. 2 masks is better than 1 mask. But you don't have to have double masks. Is that right? I mean,
You know, it became clear that cloth coverings that you didn't have to buy in a store, that you could make yourself, were adequate. And then you want it to fit better. So one of the ways you could do it, if you would like to, is put a cloth mask over, which actually here and here and here, where you could get leakage in, is much better contained.
are you a double masker, Dr. Fauci? It looked like you are.
Yeah, that ain't science, friends. And I'm not quite naive enough to think that these airport lines were canceled because they were inefficient just hours after they were deployed. I mean, it takes some time to figure out if something is inefficient and to tweak it. No. Someone must have said, as my civil liberties lawyer suggested, that that's third world police state stuff. That's illegal. Get those down. That's an excerpt from my daily show, the Ezra Levant Show. Every day I do a monologue on the news of the day, then I interview an interesting guest, and then I read my hate mail. You gotta subscribe. Go to rebelnews.com.